there should be a specific emphasis on Black History Month. Before we had, back in the early 1900s, we had Black History Day. Then we had Black History Week in the mid 1950s. And then in 1995, we had Canadian Black History Month. So, we're getting bigger and bigger. It should be Black History, all year.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I forgot the tea. Sorry, did you have your tea, Ro?
I can get it.
It's all good. It's okay. My fault. It was my fault. But yes, guys, thank you for coming on the show. Of course, everyone knows Coach Ro Russell, Grassroots Elite Preparatory School as well, college preparatory school as well, head coach, and of course, head coordinator. And today's episode is a very important one, guys. It's about Black History Month, and Ro has graciously come on the show here. Thank you, Ro, for coming on the show today. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I just came from a dentist appointment, but this topic, Black History Month, is very important to me. So I'll thug it out and talk about it.
Absolutely. So let's start right off, Coach, with Black History Month. Very important month going on right now. What are your why do you believe Black History Month is so important for everyone around the world? And yes, your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important around the world and very important in Canada. Like I was watching, looking at Instagram and Twitter, and someone made a comment that when are they going to have White History Month? You know what I mean? Like some people don't get it. They don't understand that White History Month happens every single day. You know what I mean? So there should be a specific emphasis on Black History Month. Before we had, back in the early 1900s, we had Black History Day. Then we had Black History Week in the mid 1950s. And then in 1995, we had Canadian Black History Month. So, we're getting bigger and bigger. It should be Black History, all year. You know what I'm saying? Because we do so much things out there that we should celebrate and recognize and educate about. And now there's three parts to Black History Month. There's what happened to the slaves back in the day in the 1600s. They got brought over from Africa by the Europeans. And then you have what has Black people had to rise up above and be successful with in terms of inventions, in terms of the first ever, and all the different great things that we've done, all the great leaders. And then there's the next generation in terms of let's use all that. Let's not cry about spilt milk. Let's use that as motivation and inspiration to go forward and be successful and show that we're just a human like anybody else. We've had a tough past, but we're not going to stay in it. We're going to rise above it and use it to do positive things out there.
Absolutely, Ro, and it's I truly believe it's a great thing that we have Black History Month, absolutely, including Canada, as you and I were both, from Toronto, Canada, and I believe back in 1995 it was Toronto that was one of the first cities in Canada to help introduce Black History Month. So absolutely important. I have to ask, Ro, you have great leaders of Black communities in the past, especially in North America. You got Martin Luther King, of course, Malcolm X. Is there, in regards to sports, who do you think were the leaders within the Black communities that helped bring the issue like of social justice, equality to the forefront? Who are the names that you think of that come on top of your head?
The names that come to mind are first Muhammad Ali. He first comes to mind in terms of him making a stand on fighting in the war when he didn't believe that so much people should shed blood for a political war. It's not like the Vietnamese were trying to, do, negative things to America or North America or other countries. They had issues with Vietnamese, and then they went over to fight them, and spill blood. And so, but Ali comes first. Then you have guys like Michael Jordan. He just he probably could have done more, but he did, bring the value and the importance of black folks to a front worldwide. So he was important in that sense. He wasn't as vocal as he should have been, but he was a worldwide, a global entity. Guys like LeBron has become a great voice for black people and black athletes all over the world, black issues. And he stands up and talks and says what he has to say and does it in a positive way, in a constructive way. So those three guys definitely come to mind. I'm sure there's others, but those three guys come to the forefront in terms of sports figures that have helped the black cause and raised different issues over the years.
Absolutely, those are absolutely great choices. I was thinking the same thing, Ro. When there are so many, right? So many great leaders in the past and currently within the Black communities going on right now, which is amazing. The one name that I really like, I remember I was in my first years of college, I was reading up on it. Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now, he had a story to tell where he was 17 years old. He went to a Martin Luther King Jr. press conference, and he actually asked Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, I wish I remember what the question was that he asked. I don't want to give out the wrong question.
Yeah.
But it was a special moment where he asked the question. Martin Luther King Jr. answered it in such a profound way it changed his life. He states that's when he began. The social justice became part of his life at that point. And as you can see, he did a lot for social justice. Of course, he was there with Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, that famous summit meeting to help support Muhammad Ali because he was trying to draft. He didn't want to go to the Vietnam War, and they were supporting him for that, for his equal rights in that case. So yeah, that's what really comes about. What because that story really hit me because. Me being also a media person, like him, actually, Martin Luther King Jr. changing his life through that media press conference, and him becoming the social justice person he is now. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar definitely comes to my mind.
No, sure. Now that you want to start thinking about it, you got Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, and all these guys that went. It's been tough. It's been tough to go and be a Jackie Robinson, been a Hank Aaron, and being those early pioneers and those first that had to go through all the name calling and all the different violence against you and all the different sentiments about black folks, and still going through that and being successful. So I give kudos to those guys for what they've done and what they have to go through to make it better for the next man, for the next period of time, and generally for black folks to be able to pursue anything they want to pursue, whether it be sports or government or sciences or business or whatever. There's a lot of inventions that have been made, a lot of things that we hold dear to our heart that we don't even think about that a black man first invented it. There's a whole list of things that you can Google and you'll see a whole list of things that black folks invented first, and either they didn't know that they should go get a patent, or someone beat them to the patent office, or they were, had a hard time back then to go to the patent office because they were black. There are guys waiting outside the patent office for them and don't let them go through, or they denied their application form because they were black. All types of stuff happened. So, there's a lot of things that we, have done over the decades and the centuries that people don't know that. Oh, I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And it's great to see so many So many people from the Black community, so many Black leaders out there. Not just, you said, not just in sports. You got entertainment. First Black president ever, Barack Obama. Like, I mean, it's great to see the strides that are being made by the leaders of the Black communities right now, and it's just that's why it's so important. Black History Month. It details about the history and how it's progressed so far, and it's just great to see. I have to mention one more thing, Ro. Like, sorry, going back to basketball, because we're both, we're both basketball fans, right? And we're into basketball as well. You're like the coach of Grassroots Elite. The name I have to mention, Press Maravich. He was the father of Pistol Pete Maravich. It was back in the 60s, I believe, or the 50s. LSU. He was head coach of LSU, and
In the 50s.
yeah, and then he was like recruiting Black players from the States. At that time, there was the segregation going on. He was the one that foreseen the future of basketball and saying, hey, like, let's give these guys an equal opportunity to come play in Division I basketball, and to help showcase like the great athletes and the talent they have. And it helped. If I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, Coach Ro, but it kind of helped lead the path for more and more players from the Black communities to come to Division I basketball. So in a way, like, and like, do you believe like Press Maravich kind of helped that case for Black communities?
Yeah, I think that he was one of the proponents in the South. There's also, you saw the movie Glory Road, right?
Yes.
Which, it was Texas. I forgot what they were
Miners,
called. But they
Texas
changed their name to
Western.
Texas El Paso
Right.
after UTEP. But they had a name of Texas State or something like that, before that, and they had actually made a movie about it, that they had the first Black starting five, and they won a national championship against Kentucky back in the day against Pat Riley when he played. And so there's a lot of people that saw the future, saw that, hey, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin or where you come from. It's about the best five are going to play. If you're one of the top 13 guys, you get a scholarship. And look at it now, where on each team you probably have 75% of each team is all Black, and we're still working on the coaches part of things in terms of for the coaches to get the opportunity and so forth. But it's great that to see all the great men that are doing great, for Canada, for the NBA, all over the place. I think that one part we should talk about is Canada. We should talk about back in the day when I was a young guy coming up, and I went to the provincial team or saw the national team. It was all white. The coaches were white. The trainers were white. Everybody was all white. Nothing wrong with that, but there's got to be some Black guy in there that's good enough to make that team. And if you look at the team now, it's predominantly Black. Those are the guys that are in the NBA. Those are the guys that are having great careers overseas. And so it doesn't matter the color of your skin. It's a matter of how good your game is, regardless. So now, things are opening up now where you have guys like Roy Rana, who's, of color, and Greg Francis was a coach with the cadet team. And now they're opening up to the guys of color to get opportunity. Michael Meeks and Rowan Barrett and all these guys are getting their opportunity in the national team. And so it's great to see the evolution being from the beginning of it and seeing it transpire to how it is right now. So it's been great to see what's meant to Canada, not just North America, but Canada in terms of opportunities for guys to be able to move and pursue their goals and rise to the top and show that they also can make stuff happen. They can do things as well on the basketball floor, in the front office, and behind the sidelines, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. There's a time back in the day they were saying, oh, Black folks can't be in front office. They don't think the same way that white folks think. The coaches should only be white. They shouldn't be Black. in different sports, basketball, football, all over, because they don't have that cerebral thinking that white folks, and it's like, that's crazy, that's totally racist. And I'm glad that they're fighting against that now, and you're seeing all these changes happening. So we have some work to do, but at least it's going in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I just want to ask one more because such an important month and important questions. So I think you answered a little bit there, Ro, but what do you see for the progression of a future like Black leaders, not just in sports, but you have entertainment, politics, any department like of occupation and the future and the workforce, and what do you see the progression? Do you see in like if you can look 10 years from now, 15 years from now, because right now it's really going well. You got the first Black president ever, Barack Obama. So where do you see the progression for Black communities in 15 years, 20 years down the road, or even more beyond?
I seen it go even further down. Now you have Kamala Harris. She's the first Black vice president, and have all these different things going on, and how much people are in the cabinet, and how much people are in the MPs in Canada, and all these different things. You got guys like Drake, who has a big voice, that who should use it globally. And it's all these young guys are getting inspired by these older guys that are in position of power. They're using their voice. That guys like Kyrie Irving, are helping out the Floyd family, and people are trying to ridicule him, Colin Kaepernick, and all these different things that we still have some time to go before we get to a point where people understand the social injustice that we've been facing all these centuries, and give us an opportunity as well. So I think that slowly but surely is what they say, that we will get to that point. And like for me personally, that's why I've been such a proponent against Black folks getting the same opportunity as white folks, and police brutality and all those different things, because those guys, old guys before me, have inspired me to be a leader and use my voice and use my influence to inspire people and motivate them to keep on going. So it's before time passes, I think slowly but surely we'll get to that point.
Absolutely, absolutely. So once again, thank you, Ro, for sharing your thoughts regarding Black History Month. Very important, guys. Please check it out if you guys want to know more. I believe it's History Channel has a lot about the history of Black History Month, and right now CNN, all the news outlets are talking about too. So check it out on YouTube. It is a great thing to watch and to learn more about this important month.
Definitely, and I think that people should really Google what Black folks have done over the centuries, what they've invented and started and been involved with. They'll really be surprised that they didn't even know. Like if you look at Mansa Musa and Zirab and all these guys, that they did the first, like the richest men in the world from Africa and all these things, they were Black. You know what I'm saying? And all these, they were new, so they should Google it and educate themselves, because we're not trying to say, hey, it's only about Black folks. We're saying, can we get a history too? We did some things in history. We had some things that are done against us in history. We did some first. So check it out, educate yourself, celebrate as well. That I go back to that message that the person put out there, and they're saying, why can't we have white history month? Like, it happens every single day. You know what I mean? Like, there should be Asian History Month. There should be a Black History Month. There should be Indian History Month. There should be Indigenous History Month. You know what I'm saying? And all those different cultures should be celebrated and recognized for the first, and how they've been part of society. It's about everybody, not just about one particular ethnic group. So it's a great thing. And we should also look at Canadians. There's a whole history that we don't know about, that they brought slaves to Halifax. That's why it's so predominantly Black out there, and the Underground Railroad coming to Ontario, and how that they saved so much people from the South when they had War of 1812 and the Civil War and all that stuff, and in that emancipation and all those different things. Canada has a Black history as well, because there's a time that Canada was only like, it was probably like 99% white, you know what I'm saying? And it's become very diversified, and opportunities have happened, inclusion and all those things. So we have a history as well as America. We always defer to America, but we should look at what's going on in Canada in terms of, the hockey and basketball and all these different sports and stuff like that, that Black folks have made inroads in. So we should look at that as well.
No, absolutely, bro. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. One of my all-time favorite athletes, Jackie Robinson. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Not just unbelievable athlete, he's unbelievable human being in person, and social justice humanitarian. So yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with regards to Black History Month, bro. Very important month, guys. So like Ro and I are saying, go on Google, check out the history of Black History Month, the important leaders of the past, and
Yeah,
very important.
definitely. Yeah, YouTube, Google, all
Every
the social media,
Instagram,
TV, Instagram, everything. Netflix, there's all the types of
Netflix.
shows that educate you. Some are good, some are pretty bad. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So you should be knowledgeable and see the plight that Black folks have had to endure to get to this point, and we're rising above all of it, and we're keeping it going. So that's good.
absolutely, Ro. So yes, I have to ask now. Moving on. How have you been doing during the COVID-19? How's restrictions affected you so far
Yeah,
during
it's
this
been
time?
really pretty tough, because I'm very passionate about training, about practicing, about traveling and showcasing the Canadian basketball player and the student athlete. And so it's been tough not having to be able to travel to the United States and have the schedule in Canada. We've had to, get scrimmages and training and all these things against all these restrictions and everything. And just the whole culture has changed. And so, it's been tough, but you got to figure it out. Just like we had to figure out the flu when the flu pandemic was here, we got to figure out COVID. You know what I mean, and the variants and all that stuff. So it's a matter of time before we figure it out, whether it be vaccines or healthy living and taking precautions. To see the numbers have gone down and so forth. So you got to plan ahead and hope that we got to live with this. That things get better. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm going the same way, Ro. I am definitely going insane, and I want to get out of the house. I want to exercise, and it's tough, but hopefully soon we'll all be able to get back to normal soon enough.
That's
So
right. That's right. With God's help, we'll be able to get through this and keep forward and live with it and just live differently and eat differently and act differently and so forth. Like Zoom has become such a big deal now because of the social distancing. That we got to take advantage of it, whether it be workouts or communication or the seeing people. I can't even see my mom as much as I want to. I got to Zoom my mom. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to adapt to the new normal and go from there.
but but you know what? Don't worry, Coach Ro. Everything will get back, and you're gonna have your grassroots elite winning everything again as usual.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. So we've been working behind the scenes, Zoom workouts, private workouts. We were doing outside workouts before and keeping guys fit and healthy and their mind right, having Zoom meetings and talking about issues and, making sure that the, mental health is emphasized as well, because it's tough. It's tough out there for those guys that see their friends play basketball, travel, move around. Now they can't even do that anymore. So, you just got to adjust and you got to keep it going and plan for the, when everything gets back together, so that's what it is. Thanks.
And I'm sure you're making Romad and Elijah and your players do 5,000 push-ups every day in their house in
Exactly.
their room.
Yeah, definitely. We're keeping them going. We're giving them opportunities to train and develop and have that mindset that, hey, that's what it is. I got my room, I got my basement, I got my garage. That's what I got to use. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. going on to the next topic, the NBA. And when we're talking about the NBA, of course, being both of us from Toronto, Canada, we have to talk about our Toronto Raptors. Now, we've fallen off a little bit. We lost Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, and of course, the year before Kawhi. Do you see the Raptors coming back into contention anytime soon, Ro, or do you think we have to go for another rebuild? Like I heard rumors we're trying. Part of the management wants to trade Kyle Lowry. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to trade to get back. We lost a lot. That's a lot right there. You know what I'm saying? We got to get another All-Star, and it's great that Fred's stepping up and certain guys are stepping up, and I think we'll be 8th seed or 7th seed for the playoffs. But until then, it's gonna be tough every game. Like those guys have to score 50, they score 40, they score 45 for us to win. So I think that we need a little shake up and get a little younger and get some size up front. Our size is horrible. Like our big guys are horrible. They can't even make a layup. You know what I'm saying? So
Aaron Dane,
like when you lose Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka and all the other guys that we had, you have to depend on Chris Boucher more. And he's a young up and comer, but you need some all-stars that are ready made that can get it done. Not some, not just some guys, just fillers. You know what I'm saying? So, it's been great to see at least basketball's at that level has been played. In the college level has been played, and so it's good to to sit down and watch games and see how things are going, and no antics and no side distractions, just on the game. So if anything that COVID has done with social distancing and the spreading of the cases is no fans, no screaming, yelling, and taunting and all that stuff, and just focus on the game at hand and strategizing and just focus on the fundamentals of basketball. So that part's been good.
Absolutely. I have to mention, who do you think are the favorites to win the title this year? Like you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers.
And the Clippers are always in contention in the West, and then in the East, you can't count Milwaukee with Giannis, and and then you got the big three in Brooklyn Nets. If they can get it together, they're unstoppable force right there. You know what I'm saying?
They've been losing though.
Yeah, they're losing, but it's hard to put those pieces together. But eventually, they're gonna start learning how to defend. They might get a trade or two, and then they'll start gelling together because it's pretty hard to put three superstars like that together and then go play together. That's hard. So I think that offensively they're fine. It's just the defense. So they got to figure that out, and then they'll be fine. In the East, and with teams like the New York Knicks are playing pretty well, and they're going along, and Boston will always be there at the end. They're very, very talented. And we'll see what happens. So, Lakers right now, if I had to say someone was going to win, would be the Lakers. They're so talented. You know what I'm saying? Houston's pretty talented too. They got some good guys at Houston. So we'll see what happens. Golden State is slowly come back around and so forth. But LA Lakers, Lakers should repeat. They just got too much firepower that you can't deny it.
Absolutely. And here's it's gonna be great down the line, but hopefully the Raptors, our Toronto Raptors, can make the finals someday again.
Who knows? They might make that another trade. That a magical trade that Masai does. Before he moves on to Washington Wizards.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going for another challenge, and they're willing to. Pay him whatever he wants, whatever he needs, they'll give it to him. So,
don't do it, Masai.
It might be hard to keep him in Toronto. He's done his deed in Toronto, and he might go to Washington. But in the meantime, he has another trade up his sleeve somewhere that he could pull off and get us back into the second, third round. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, trade for Kawhi again. Moving on.
We'll take even DeMar DeRozan. We'll take him.
Oh, really? He's the only guy that wanted to stay in Toronto.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else wanted to leave Toronto with all the cold and the north and everything, but he was pretty accustomed to it. So We'll see what happens.
We'll get Giannis in the trade. We'll get Gian. Don't worry, Coach Ro. We'll get Giannis in
We
the trade
tried that. We
2 years.
tried. Yeah, we tried him to sign him for free agent, but that didn't work. So the only other thing is trading him for him. But we'd have to give everything. We'd have to give Van Vliet, Pascal, everybody to get a guy like him. You know what I'm
Oh, like
saying?
I could. We can't give up Van Fleet. Maybe Pascal would be
Pascal,
enough.
Laurie, Boucher, a couple of draft picks, some money,
Oh,
whatever.
wow, that's too much. No, 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 that's too much. We get, we
That's the
get.
only way that Milwaukee will talk to us. They won't
Giannis
even
isn't
talk.
gonna want to come to a team with no one left, right?
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean? There's no help for him.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Well, he's on a team that only has one or two players now, anyway. So it
That's
definitely.
true. That's true. I mean, like, I don't know if Masai goes to Washington, like, then Masai's gonna try. Like, I'd rather we keep Masai because then Giannis will be a Washington Wizard in 2 years. I'd rather
Yeah,
him be in a Raptors uniform. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point.
but, no, going on from that, NCAA, the future
Yep.
home of Roma Dean and Elijah Fisher, and Rowe, and of course,
Yeah,
a future for Coach Rowe, NCAA Division One. I truly
yeah, no
believe that.
doubt, no doubt.
I know. I'll be honest, Coach Rowe. I haven't been up to tune. Like, I used to watch college basketball so frequently, but I'm more into the NBA. But since like Zion and RJ went to the draft, it hasn't been as exciting, in my opinion. However,
Mm.
it's always exciting. Who do you have? Like, I mean, of course, you always got the Dukes and the North Carolinas always in contention for NCAA championship, March Madness. But who do you see as the team, like the dark horse that can come through and win the championship?
I can see Baylor winning it this year because they got the defense and the offense. They play this no middle defense, and they got so much offensive threats on that team. So they're number one right now, and they're undefeated. So I can see them. I can see Gonzaga. I think
Oh,
it's
Gonzaga.
been years and years that they've been number one, and they got knocked off in the final, knocked off in the Final Four, knocked off in the playoff games in the March Madness. So I see those two teams being top-rated teams out there in the country. For some reason, Kentucky and Duke and North Carolina, they've fallen off. They might not even make the March Madness this year.
Yeah,
Which
Kentucky. What happened to those
when
guys?
has that happened?
Wow.
When has that happened ever? That all three of those teams, those blue blood programs, other than Kansas, haven't made the NCAA March Madness. So we'll see. So I think I'm going for Baylor this year. So we'll see what happens.
And what about that? He's supposedly right now. I could be wrong. Number one player, Luca Garza. He's
Yeah,
supposedly projected to
from
be number one.
Iowa.
Yeah. Well, how do you think? He's only one guy, but I think Iowa's going to do. They got probably the best player in the country,
Well,
but Garza. But
they do, but he can be stopped. You know what I mean, with different different defenses and different running offense and stuff could get him out of the game, bring him on ball screens and tempo, raise the tempo, and different things to get him tired and get him outside and get him, because obviously he's the strongest guy in NCAA. But he reminds me of Mark Madsen. Mark Madsen won
mm,
AC the ACC Player of the Year, but in terms of like it's not like he's a physical athletic freak and just skilled out of his ears, what I'm saying? So he could be stopped, and you need a full team. You can't just have one guy. I don't think he's dominant enough like a Shaq or a Ralph Sampson or Keem Olajuwon or someone like that you just he's just too good. You know what I'm saying? He's not even in the NBA mock drafts. They don't have him listed as a top draft pick because he'll be a good role player in the NBA. In college, he's pretty good, but he can be stopped. So you need a
yeah,
full team in order to do so. And from my estimation, both Gonzaga and Baylor, they have a full team.
absolutely, absolutely, and it's going to be exciting. But yeah, that's a surprise. Wow, Kentucky specifically, like a Coach Cal led team that won't even make the March Madness. That's wow, that's
Yeah,
a shocker.
Duke as well. Duke as well. Duke has lost three in a row, four in a row.
Oh
All the
yeah,
same thing. And I know that COVID has a lot to do with it, with all the different cases and cancellations and depth and all that stuff. But everybody has to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
now a lot of their guys have gone to the NBA, and they have a lot of young guys that will be good next year and the year after, but they haven't gotten that next superstar like a Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, or
Yeah.
AD at Kentucky or whatever.
Or a
North Carolina.
Zion.
Yeah,
A
Zion.
Zion.
You know what I'm saying? RJ and those kind of guys. So a lot of them, they got some good McDonald's All-Americans and five-star guys, but not superstars. Potentially, to make them, be on top. Before now, everybody's caught up. Everybody's caught up, and they got their five-star, and they got their one and dones, and they got their all their guys. So, you need a little bit of everything to make it happen. You need offense, defense, depth, coaching, system, all those things. There's a lot of parity this year, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just for fun, not trying to stir the pot here, Coach Ro, but I mean, like, hey, Roma Dean, Elijah Fisher, they look good in a Kentucky jersey or a Duke jersey or North Carolina jersey.
Yeah, definitely. Wherever they go, they'll be good. You know what I'm saying? They even look good in a Baylor uniform.
They would help any program, those
Yeah,
two.
they wherever they go, they will help the program because they play with such passion, such effort, and their athleticism and size and competitiveness. That's will help them get to the next level.
I think Coach Ro would help them get to the next level too, those teams.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. At some point, I've turned down a lot of jobs over the years, but at some point, you're looking to make that move to the next level. You're trying to help these kids get where they should go, and you put so much time and effort into that. But at some point, you say, hey, let's go to the next level now. So we'll see.
I truly believe you will, Coach Ro. So, you'll be next level Division I coaching, and hopefully my podcast will be at the next level too, and then we'll meet again.
Definitely. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
Absolutely. Final thing, of course, the Super Bowl just wrapped up. Tom Brady, 7th championship. This guy, he's never going to retire, Coach Ro. Like, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this guy before in like sports or basketball or any sports in
No,
general?
not any sport. You think back and you look at even Michael Jordan at 38, 39. He wasn't the same as he was before. Kobe, and different guys that played 19, 20 years. You look at Vince Carter. Wasn't the same, and you look at all these guys, and you try to remember when was the last time a guy that had 43 is still winning Super Bowls. You know what I mean? And sure, Tampa Bay has a full team, offensive linemen and all different pieces that are put together. But to bring a team that was like the last place the year before to win a Super Bowl, that's exciting. You know what I mean? That's legendary. That's iconic. So definitely go down in history, and that's why I voted for him because there's some way somehow he's just a trick up his sleeve that guys didn't know yet. And Patrick Mohans, he'll have his turn like he had last year, and he has a lot of years to go. But this year was Brady, him and Gronk. They went down to Tampa Bay, and won it again. So that's great. And he's not even saying he's done. He's saying, "I'll see you next year." I
Yeah.
see you. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? What I mean, he might be back in the Super Bowl again and at 44. So we'll see what happens. But that's great. That's a great question. When's the last time a guy was that old, past his prime and still, it's probably like the last guy was probably the hockey player. What's his name? Gordie Howe.
Gordie
Gordie
Howe.
Howe.
Yeah.
Gordie Howe,
Legend.
and he's probably the last guy that was like past his prime and still racking up the assists and probably and basketball wise, probably Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he
Good
was
point.
up there when he won some championships with the Lakers and played for so many years. So, but to win a championship like that, that's extraordinary.
Absolutely. One last point, Ro, I have to make before we conclude. Like, do you think Toronto would ever get a football team, NFL team? I mean, I know we have the CFL, the Argonauts, great team, great fans, and then and around the country. But do you think Toronto, Canada in general, ever going to see an NFL team? Do you see?
Yeah, I think they will at some point because we're sports fanatics. We go and even the Toronto Maple Leafs weren't winning for how many years, and they were still going and packing the gyms, and they packed the gyms at the Scotiabank, and they were doing so at all the different other venues. So I think eventually, it's a great sports town that they should get some expansion team or like how the Vancouver Grizzlies went down to Memphis. I think some team that may be in some disarray and some financial issues may, in the football realm, come to Toronto. You never know. So we'll see.
Why not? And then, hopefully next year, you and I and Nem and a bunch of guys can watch next year's Super Bowl party.
Exactly. Yeah, let's do that. But definitely socially distanced. You see all those people down there, man? They were like, man. They're
we'll have a Zoom one.
Yeah, we'll be far up there. We'll go there, but let's stay far away. You know what I'm saying? And keep.
We could have like a Zoom one, Coach Roll, like a Zoom Super Bowl party. We'll just be on the screen.
Hopefully, things get back to normal, and we can actually go and partake in all the festivities and all those stuff. So, hope for the best that this whole thing's change around. I looked at the other day, and there was like 998, a couple of days ago. So, it's 1,022. So the numbers are going down. The vaccines are coming. Everything's, getting back together. We just got to battle the variants, and then we're good. So, this you keep praying and keep being safe, and never know what could happen. So,
absolutely, Coach Rowe, and I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show again. Please come on anytime. You can actually maybe we can co-host. Maybe we can co-host together every week. But guys, once again, it's a great pleasure to have Coach Roe Russell, Grassroots Elite Canada. And please check out Black History Month going on this month. Of course, YouTube, social media, Google, History Channel. Check it out. It's a great thing to learn more about.
Yeah, be a champ. Check it out. Hashtag be a champ.
Hashtag be a champ.
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it and see what we've done. We've done some things. Give us some credit too. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great thing. Because there's history in general all the time, every day. But let's have some Black History Month. Let's have some Black history, both what we had to deal with, what our forefathers did, and how great they are, and where we're going. So it's a great evolution, and we should check it out and take advantage of this month where we have it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on here. Again, I'll make sure next time I'll have my tea ready to go. I like to drink a lot of herbal tea, whether it be peppermint or chamomile or lemon honey, all those things. So I'll make sure I have my tea with me next time.
That was my fault, Coach Rowe. I should have warned you. That was my fault. So apologies on me there. But thank you, Coach Rowe, for this very special episode. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rowe. Take care, everyone.
This is Coach Roe Russell. This has been a great episode with Tea Time with Tommy. Thanks for having me. Him and all his producers and everybody, Nam and everybody else. Subscribe below, and let's watch it. Let's check him out in all different social media platforms, and keep it going. All right, Tommy. Thanks.